morning. We're going camping again. The weather finally cleared up. Warm enough to go camping where it's not uncomfortable. As you can tell, I am ultra light camping. There's my ultra light mattress back there. And my ultra light sleeping bag. I'm just kidding. I have probably 200 pounds of gear in this car right now. Definitely car camping, and it's very advantageous. So I'm going to that same place I went last time, but this time I brought the Chameleon MPAS antenna, and I'm going to be doing some NVIS, I do believe. The problem with it though is you need like a 60-foot span. It needs to be kind of horizontal. I'm not sure if I'm going to have that much room if there's other people there. I'm going back to that same park, Logan Park. Maybe I'll be smarter this time and I'll camp down in an area that's not super windy and have to pick up camp and move it. That was pretty dumb last time, wasn't it? Oh, I got this 2-meter beam here, which I've never really played with. I've had that probably 10, 12 years. I don't even remember where I got it. I think I got it real cheap. But I was playing with it last night for 5 seconds. I hooked my little handy talkie up to it and it worked. I was able to hit the repeater real easy and I didn't even have the beams out. So I do believe one of the repeaters that I'm going to be trying to hit is on top of that water tower right there. We are out in the country. We far out. Well, there's always a chance of rain. Pick my camping spot. It's going to be right here. I kind of parked my car here for protection, both from the wind and maybe people coming by, who knows. Lots of trees to throw into. I'm thinking a sloper, or maybe my NVIS to go horizontal right there. I'm going to go ahead and go on rocks because I've got a plenty big mat. I don't really care if it's hard. I think right here would be good. Okay, so let's take a look at my setup here. Haven't done the communications tower yet, the ham radio stuff yet, but got the tent set up, the TP tent. This is a really nice tool when you're camping, you know. Mostly I use it for a hammer right here. I was able to hammer those stakes in. Had a lot of trouble hammering them in because I chose this harder ground as opposed to that softer ground because got the marine bag, got my axe. This here is a little portable recharger. It's real good for cell phones and stuff. I use it for my cameras now. I realize I run out of battery so easily out here on camping trips that I needed that. Chameleon MPAS is in there, and I've got the whip over there. There's my 2-meter thing I'm going to play with, my 2-meter Yagi. It says $40 on there. I think I got it for $30. Okay, so this chair, I got a chair that's low to the ground because it's nice at times not to have to worry about a table. The ground can be your table. Got my, I didn't know if I should bring that heater, but you know it gets pretty chilly at night. You never know. So I decided to go ahead and bring that big ass. I wish I'd gotten a smaller one. But this looks like a nice little setup right here. Overcast skies. I wish it was sunny, and I wish it wasn't quite so windy. It kind of hurts the audio. Now I do have my all powers here. Solar panel. Okay, here's what I did on my radio. To be careful. So this radio has an SMA connector, and I put that to coax, and now I can run that to this device here, and it will work as a beam. It doesn't have to be a beam. You can just put out the two elements. So I'm sitting here to shelter from the wind, taking a little break. This chair is pretty comfortable. Like I said, I got this chair low to the ground, so you know you don't need a table. It's got an advantage to it. You can put your stuff here, and of course I still have the table. This thing, man, there's nothing like a table when you're portable. Now what I love is trying to think of different, my favorite part of all this is not the camp setup, but thinking of ways to get my antenna up. I don't know why, but cars wander through here every now and then. They'll drive down, come back, and just leave. Guess they're just exploring. Tree antennas, it's a real good time of the year for tree antennas. Because there's no leaves, you can see very well where your antenna is going to go. The fun part, putting up the antenna. Now it is time to introduce my new toy. I bought the Mill Whip Extension, so I get an extra 4 feet on my whip antenna. I'm going to be doing the ground stake that I made in my last video. and putting up the entire 2 sections. This is the new piece I got. I think it adds another 4 or 5 feet for a total of 17 feet 4 inches, I do believe. So I went ahead and made my own counterpoise for this, in addition to the one that exists with the system, the Chameleon MPAS. I've got it here, and then that's where the regular whip goes up, almost to that tree branch. I wish I had driven my stake in further, leaning a little bit back, both because I drove it in crooked and the wind. But now, ideally, I wouldn't have this around all these trees, but I'm here because of the wind. I want the wind protection, even though, of course, it's coming from this way where I don't have any protection. Hopefully that'll die down later. But I mean, you wouldn't want this around a lot of trees. It's probably not going to be that effective. So what I understand, if you read the manual, what you'll get out of this is both line of sight and ground wave. So there should be short distance communications with this, relatively short. And we'll find out. It'd be kind of interesting to find out if I can get to the states next to me. I'm in the Missouri area, about 50 miles west of St. Louis, in the woods, of course. 50 miles west, if I can hit Illinois, or Indiana, or Kansas, or Colorado, that's what I would expect, or in Arkansas, maybe South Dakota, who knows? That's what we're going to find out. I might have 2 antenna systems. I might put up a long wire also, but this is what I'm starting off with. I will say the ease of putting this up is a good value. That's why I do like it. It's pretty easy to put up. Okay, to change things up, I'm not going to use the Packtenna this time. I'm using the Kuriosdealz, Kuriosdealz, 9-to-1 un-un. The wire on here is really long. I believe this is a Soda Beams wire winder, and I kind of made this little system all nice and neat. I also had to put these zip ties on it twice so it has some way to hang, you know, so that's something it needed. I needed a zip tie here, but let's get this antenna up and then I'll have 2 systems. Okay, that went really well. I wanted to go in that fork right there. See that fork? I went just to the left of it, but it's perfect. So I can pull my antenna up. I'm going to come straight down to the top of my tent. If anyone drives through, they'll drive under it and not even know it's there. Perfect, man. Man, one shot. That is a good thing about this. I could never have gotten it that high without this thing. I'm not saying run out and buy this. Don't do that. I'm just saying I couldn't have got it up that high. Dang, I'm going to be dang near vertical. Alright, so here we got the top of the tent, bungee cord to the antenna. Cable goes down into the tent, 10-foot cable. I got the antenna, no counterpoise. I might put that other counterpoise on there. See what happens. Alright, now I don't know if you can see this, but it's going way up into that tree. The antenna is actually shorter than I thought. So it's going almost straight up. It's probably only halfway up as far as I got it with that slingshot. Alright, now the cool thing is that if a car drives by, they'll drive right underneath it. So if you can't see it, the wire is going right along there. It terminates right there. And then, cool. So I've got the wire antenna, and then I've got the mobile, or the whip, mill whip. So if I was to say which way I was pointed, if I was pointed any way, it would be southeast. Okay, starting with the counterpoise, it goes, this is the Chameleon MPAS counterpoise. I think it's 60 feet. It's laying straight that way. I've got it going to the stake. I've got the mill extension, that part, and then the regular whip And then I've got this coax. This is RG174, 40 feet. Yeah, there's some loss here, but this stuff is wonderful to work with. 40 feet is so nice to have plenty of room to play with. I've got wires all over the place. So I'm going to run this into the tent. This is antenna number 1. Take a look inside the tent. You have to be careful walking around at night with all these wires. Antenna 1, antenna 2. This is Kuriosdealz. I decided to take the counterpoise off that I made. I made this counterpoise and I put it here on the black and I ran it that way. Perfect setup. I can swap these two. I can swap these two cables out, and I can actually run it up here to the top, and it won't be in the way. Just have to be careful walking around. And then I've got the 2 meter over here, which I'm going to mess around with later. It's amazing how quick time goes, you know. It's not an easy deal to set up a camp and pretty good radio communications with multi-antenna. I haven't had a chance to operate yet. It's actually starting to get warm. It was cold, and it's actually getting warmer because the sun came out. It'll get cold again though. That's the way it works. Wow, that tuned up instantly. November 9 Yankee Oscar. N9YO. Okay, I changed antennas and now I'm going to try with this.
Yeah, thanks, 73. This is Kilo 6 November, Ocean November, QRZ.
November 9 Yankee Oscar.
And 9 Yankee Oscar, 59 Delta Mike 13.
Echo Mike 48 MX.
I'm sorry, you're a little light. Try it again.
Echo Mike 48.
Norway 9 Yankee Ocean.
EM48. EM48.
QRZ, Kilo 6 November, Ocean November.
Okay, check this out.
Secret chase, Kilo.
I was not able to talk to him with this antenna. Now, granted, it's a whip. You know, it may not be in the right range. But I was able to talk with the wire up there, see? And that is the Kuriosdealz wire. That is not the Packtenna. It's like a fraction of the price, like 30 bucks or something. Okay. Oh, that antenna was given to me also. That was a gift a long time ago. I haven't had a chance to use it, but made my first contact on it, I do believe. I decided to I'm going to go back to this antenna and call CQ and see if I can make any contacts at all with the Chameleon. CQ, November 9, Yankee Oscar, calling CQ, N9Y. Sorry, CQ, N9YO, November 9, Yankee Oscar. Check this ridiculous thing out. Now, it's made out of aluminum. It's still kind of heavy, especially the way I'm holding it here on the end. I'm going to play with this. I'm not doing anything serious with it because I've already got too much going on. But I was going to try to see if I can point it. Now, I'm about 40-50 miles away from the nearest repeater. I do not expect to make any hits on the repeater with this, but I'm going to play with it just to see what happens. So I was able to hit a repeater actually. Now it may be close enough that I don't even need this thing, but I'm near Eolia, Missouri, never even heard of it. 14519, I keyed it in and there it is. Let's see if I can make a contact. I look ridiculous, don't I? November 9, Yankee Oscar, listening and testing and monitoring.
Late this afternoon, mostly cloudy with a 20% chance of showers. Temperature rising to the lower 60s. East wind 10 to 15 miles an hour with gusts to around 25 miles an hour.
So I almost need like a goal or something. I'm not sure what to do. Made one sideband contact. Chameleon did not work. I mean, that's not its fault. It's just a whip that I've got up. If I had the wire at the top, it probably would have worked. But the wire worked. I made a contact and I was able to... It's pretty cool to have two different antennas because you can swap them and see how it works. I'm really curious to see how the whip works because it's supposed to be the ground wave type propagation, which, who knows, it might be awful. I don't know, I've never done ground wave or purposefully done ground wave. One time I stayed here, it was so cold. This is what the hills of Missouri are like. They're just lots of just hills and valleys, and you can get a real good workout walking up and down these types of trails. So I stayed here and it was really cold and I ran out of wood, which is the problem with fire. And then at night, like at 2 or 3 in the morning, I just kept walking back here and getting more and getting further and further away. I finally found this giant stump. I probably dragged that thing 60 yards. It was huge. I just barely got it back. But that's kind of the problem with the fire. So it's just lots of work. So, I was heard on the reverse beacon network, but where was it? Okay, Canada. Interesting, that antenna I got to K07SS, that was in Arizona. Okay, I just talked to Cuba. I don't think I've ever hit Cuba. CO2JD on the Chameleon from Missouri with the whip. Just the whip. I just talked to Cuba on CW. Now, he had a hard time getting my name, but I mean, that's pretty cool. I just stuck that in the ground. I probably could have done better with the wire in the tree, or with the wire, you know, that thing is so configurable. I chose to test my stake though. I chose to test the whip, and then that's what I'm doing. This is the test. Yay! I got XE2S. That is a strange call sign. XE2S. I got it off that whip over there, man. Mexico! Oh, cool. I like that picture. What's cool about this? I just realized I've created a radio station here. I mean, this is like a real communications station. I didn't even mean to, but I've got all kinds of ways to communicate. A short range, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 miles. Repeaters and 2 meters. I've got the wire into the tree, which could go in all different directions, but this will have a different range than the whip antenna. All kinds of things, all kinds of communications set up in one unit. I'm having a blast doing it, but I just realized I've created quite a radio station here. This is a radio station. How cool is that? Having a blast over here. This guy, I recognize this guy. He's saying, you're into London, Ontario. I recognize him. He was here last time. Well, he's gone now. He's saying, you are 50... There he is. I recognize his accent. And London, Ontario. I think I made a contact with him. November 9, Yankee Oscar, N9, YO, Missouri. Come on! November 9, Yankee Oscar, N9, YO, in Missouri.
I believe it's a November 9 station,
November 9, Yankee Oscar, Yellow Ocean, N9YO, Missouri.
Okay, I got a November 9 station. Could you repeat your call again?
November 9, Yellow Ocean, Yankee Oscar, November 9, Yankee Oscar. You can't hear me.
November 9 station, I'm sorry, I just cannot seem to pull you out.
No problem, 7373. Watch this. I'm going to change antennas. See, that was Michigan. I'm going to try with a different antenna. Watch this. Different antenna. Let's... November 9, Yankee Oscar.
November 9 Whiskey Oscar station?
Yankee Oscar. Yankee Oscar. You are 5-9 in Missouri. November 9, Yellow Ocean. Yellow Ocean, 5-9 Missouri. Yankee Ocean. Yankee Ocean. November 9, Yankee Ocean. You are 5-9 Missouri. 5-9 Missouri. Okay, the deal is I am not going to talk to that guy tonight. Well, that was interesting though, because he heard me just as well on that antenna as he did on that antenna. So, I mean, we had the same problems. I swear that Yankee, the Y in my call sign is the biggest problem. Everyone gets November 9, everything else but the Yankee. I'm like, Yankee, 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 yellow, yellow. I even pause, yellow ocean. It's still, that word does not come through. You know, it's kind of nice to do CW because you just don't have that same problem. They're all the same, you know. Anyway, this experiment, even though it failed, still taught me something. How cool is that? It taught me that I cannot talk to Michigan.
Low in the upper 40s. East wind 10 to 15 miles an hour. Gusts up to 25 miles an hour in the evening.
I don't know if you can see it, but there's a bat right there. Looks like he's swooping and eating bugs. He's right there. Can you see him? I love bats. They're freaking awesome. I can't believe he's out this early in the year, but I'm happy he is, man. We need to support bats because they eat bugs. You can tell how they fly because they don't fly like any other bird. Not that they're a bird, but they don't fly like, even barn swallows, you can tell the way they fly. They're fun to watch fly, but these guys fly really crazy. I really hope you can see this. You know, I know he's mixing the trees, but there he is right there. He's having a heyday with these bugs. You know, I'm wearing a coat, and I killed a mosquito on my hand. How is that possible? It's cold. How is it possible that there's bugs out? I am struggling. I am struggling tonight. It could be band conditions, but I'm using that antenna right now, and people are just not hearing me. And I might just switch to this one, but I think the band conditions are just awful. Okay guys, I tried something really wacky. I decided to take my Chameleon MPAS and do the NVIS thing. And that's where you basically run it horizontal and about 10 feet above the ground, okay? So what I did was I took the coax, because that's all I had, and I threw it up over that branch. It actually went whoop and wrapped around, and I actually almost lost the MPAS unit, which is right there. I had to get the whip out and push on it and push on it and push on it and push it, and it finally went around and came back down. Oh my God, you gotta be careful, dude. All right, so the MPAS is right there. I do not have a counterpoise. I have a coax holding it up, which is not a good idea. There's like too much pressure on it. I know that. All right, so the MPAS is right there. I'm sorry it's dark. And now I have the top of the antenna going horizontally across here, which is it was the counterpoise before, but now it's about 11 feet up. And I have it going right here, which I'm sorry you can't see it. Then it ends right here. And I have another rope tying it around. So I have the antenna horizontal, almost horizontal, about 12 feet up. November 9, Yankee Oscar. He can't hear me. I heard something walking. There's something walking in there. It's most likely, number 1, a possum, number 2, a skunk. Can you hear it? I have seen armadillos. I can hear it right now. There's something waddling around. Just as it gets dark, these nocturnal things come out. I'll try to find it. He is not afraid. I mean, I've been making noise over here. If you're camping, this thing is indispensable, this headlamp. And I really like that there's a red light because it doesn't destroy your night vision. It's pretty awesome. And I can see the buttons on my... I can hit... If you don't have this light, if I don't have this light, I can't see the buttons. But with this I can, and I can hit tune and so forth. Alright. Okay, that was Michigan. W8UM. W8UM. I finally made a contact. It's been very difficult tonight. So there's 2 people that just drove up in the dark. And they're just walking around in the dark with flashlights. They went from regular lights to red lights, and now they just turned the regular lights back on. Yeah, just gotta keep an eye out, you know what's going on. Where are people out in the woods? Kind of just walking around in the dark.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye. QRZ for the Ontario Control Party. This is Victor Alpha 3, Tango Papa Sierra. Contest?
November 9, Yankee Oscar.
November 9, Yankee Oscar. Good evening, sir, and thank you for the call. Please copy 59 into the county of Kawartha Lakes. Kilo Alpha Whiskey QSL.
You are 59 into Missouri. I am camping outdoors tonight.
Oh, good for you. I hope it's a little warmer there where you are than where I am, that's for sure, and I'm sure it is. What is the temperature there during camping?
It is about 40 degrees, and I have a propane heater, and I'm sitting next to my tent, and this video will be on YouTube. I'm YouTubing this video right now.
Oh, cool, very good. Well, that's excellent. I'm glad to hear that. You're about the same temperature we are then. We're about 40, we're actually 34 degrees, so a little bit cooler. Listen, thanks for the call and enjoy your camping. And 7-3, have a good night.
7-3, and good luck.
QRZ to the Ontario.
Wow, he heard me so well. He heard me so well. Contests are cool because it makes those contacts that you normally wouldn't make. That's why I like them. I just hit Canada with 10 watts with the Kuriosdealz $30 antenna, which is a wire into a tree, which there's no way you can see it right now because I can't even see it. He heard me like nothing. What is that? This, you are never going to understand ham radio. There's no way to understand it because it's so, there's too many variables. There's no way to, there's just no way.
Are you contact? And here's Paul, Pop Alpha Uniform Lima. Look forward to your call. Then decide, give us a try. Echo City, Radio Charlie, Bravo, waiting for your call.
November 9, Yankee Oscar.
There you are. There you are. Coming through loud and clear. Put the batteries back in the radio there, my friend. November 9, Yankee Oscar. Thank you very much for dropping by. Could I have your name and your KTH, please?
This is Tom, Tango Oscar Mike. I am in Missouri camping outdoors, and I just hit the tune button. That's why you can hear me.
It always helps to push the right button there, Tom. Thank you very much. You're camping in Missouri. You must have some warm weather there. Hi.
It's 40 degrees, kind of chilly, and I have a propane heater, and I'm outdoors, and I love it. Having fun. 7-3.
73 there, Tom. Thanks very much.
That was so cool. This guy, I mean, there's so many stories going on. He drove 9 hours, 400 miles north of Toronto, 3 feet of snow. There's ice on the river. I'm outside camping, and he mentioned me in the second QSO. He said, hey, there's Tommy camping, and it must be 40 degrees. It's about the same temperature there. How crazy is that? Morning time. Well, I actually slept pretty good. With this huge mat, I was real comfortable. See that? It rained this morning. It was really nice. Nice temperature. Probably around 50 degrees last night. 40 to 50. There were wind gusts. That kind of made it neat because every now and then, you know, everything went. I don't need this heater on, but why not be comfortable? I brought it. Why not be comfortable? Alright, let's fire up the machine again at 7:49 in the morning. And there is activity. I have had the hardest time calling CQ on this trip. No one is coming back. I think it's the band conditions, because last time I did this, everyone was coming back. This time, nobody. Maybe it's my antenna. Kind of a dreary morning. Gonna try to make some contacts. I think the bands are just dead. I don't even hear anybody else. So I call CQ, no one answers, and I don't hear anyone else. I think the bands are dead. Okay, what I was gonna do was show you what I hacked together to get the MPAS working last night. So this is my coax. I shouldn't have treated it like this, but I wanted to try this. So the coax goes up to the MPAS, which is right there. I know that's not good for your coax. Then I've got the connector wire going straight over here, about 10 feet up. I haven't made any contacts on this configuration yet, but again, I haven't made any on anything today. Listen to that. I can barely understand it. It sounds weird. I can't understand it. Okay, I didn't hit the record button, but I just contacted CO2RQ. I think that's Cuba. That sounds like the Cuba last night. And I did it with the Kuriosdealz antenna. Let's look him up. Yep, Habana, Cuba. So that was a fun little getaway. Doing 2 antennas like that is a lot of work, and you know, putting it all down all at once is a lot of work. It's something I wouldn't want to do unless I was going to be out there for at least 2 nights. It's just so much it's just too much. 2 antennas. It was interesting. I didn't notice any huge differences between the 2 antennas. I didn't really set up the Chameleon right. It was supposed to have a counterpoise on it, and I didn't have that. So, it's not really fair, you know, on that NVIS thing. With the whip, I did make some contacts, but not very many. That was interesting. The bands were really bad, as in I couldn't hear hardly anybody out there. And when I called CQ, no one, I don't think anyone answered a single CQ of mine all night. The only contacts I made were ones on a contest where I called back to them. And that's probably because they had a really good radio station and antenna. There's the tower that I need.